This isn't... I can't... This pain is too much. Ugh! I stumble backwards from Lily with unseemly haste, clumsily hitting the back of my foot against the table and falling to the ground with an unceremonious crash. Breathing wildly, I frantically scrape at the ribbon over my eyes as I lay on my back. I have to get this off. I have to get this off. For a moment, everything goes blank. As the rush of newfound light assaults my eyes, my breathing slows from the brink of hyperventilation. Seconds pass, and I carefully measure out the rhythm of my heartbeats with every ounce of concentration I can muster. My heart is normal. It's back to normal. My body feels utterly bizarre as I lay dazed on the floor looking at the ceiling. The adrenaline from before is still pouring through my veins, but my mind is completely exhausted. I prop myself up as I hear Lily getting off the bed and coming towards me. Hisao, are you okay? Hisao? I'm fine, Lily. I'm fine. She gives a sigh of relief, her worried expression collapsing. Her face afterwards is the very last I'd ever wanted to see from her. It's a face I detested when I first saw my parents in the hospital all those months ago. Pity. Lily pities me. I just close my eyes and turn away powerless. I feel like throwing up. I can hear the sound of Lily moving away and quickly attending to herself, the ruffling of her clothing being pulled back on after a moment of searching just barely audible. Sorry, I say. She slowly shakes her head as she finishes buttoning up her top. Her kind smile looks so fragile, so delicate, that it makes my heart sink. Approaching carefully, she feels out the edge of the low table before taking a seat next to me, putting her arms around my chest. I'm sorry, Hisao. I shouldn't have pushed my desires onto you. You don't need to apologize, I tell her. I'd normally be fine. You've seen that much before. I guess I shouldn't have tried to push myself so far. My eyelids feel heavy. Calmly sitting next to her like this is probably letting the adrenaline work itself out of my system and letting my mind relax. So that's why you never took the lead? She asks. Yeah, I guess it's a good thing you'd like to, huh? The joke seems to lighten her expression a little, a fact which helps me feel less unease about my unreliable self. Lily's head comes to rest on my shoulder as I struggle to keep my eyes open with more difficulty after each blink. I feel completely drained. It's okay, Hisao. It's all okay, she says. No sooner does she say that than a small, quiet tune escapes her lips. Entirely too tired to think, all I can do is listen to her soft humming. It's a soft, almost melancholic tune. It sounds familiar, but the more I try to remember its origin, the less I seem able to concentrate. The feeling and scent of her head gently resting on my shoulder and her warm body against my side are soothing. The soft humming of her voice, too, relaxes my mind as much as her warmth relaxes my muscles. This singular quiet moment, after all this fracas, it makes me realize just how exhausted I've become. I can feel my eyelids slowly becoming heavier and heavier. Even with the chaos of before, I wish this moment would last forever. Lily and I together, sharing a single solitary occasion together, just as we used to. But if that's the case, why does she feel further away than she's ever felt before? short episode here, just kind of a split off and tie into the one that went up earlier with the sex scene. Lilly and Hisao have their final sex scene for her story path together. This time, her making him wear a blindfold and enticing him into taking the initiative and performing the actions himself this time, and instead of her being in the shall we say the uppermost, taking the uppermost lead, shall we say. This leads to him having a episode with his heart. Not a serious one, but definitely an episode with his heart, with his chest pain and all, where he's able to get things back under control. And as she says, so that's why you never took the lead. You know, his fear of having an episode. Once again, as I said at the end of the last episode, if you didn't watch the one with the H scene, this is, a good comparison to how the stories differ. Being that this time, this Lily's path is the one where his heart condition seems to be the most at the forefront. You never seem to see it. It never seems to be a big issue in anything except for, in Emmy's path, he has a couple of episodes, but when it's out, when he's running and really strenuously exerting and pushing himself. This one here is the first time that, as they're walking into town on vacation, he had the episode, just gently walking on flat land. And this time when he takes the initiative during sex, he has an episode. So, once again, the differences in the paths and how they treat his heart in one path in particular, it's not even I don't even think it's brought up after, the initial common path that puts him into Yamaku. I don't even know if they ever mention his heart condition again. So there we go. And it ends with him, unfortunately, snuggled up to her and all that, but a brief little period there where he says, he sees pity on her face, and that's the one look that he never wanted to see. So we will see where things go in the morning, and we will meet you then.